What's good, Ravens fans? Thank you guys so much. We are going to do a reaction to Colin Cowherd talking about Lamar Jackson. We're going to jump right in, so let's get it.
I pay him already. The number one quality of a franchise quarterback is when your team isn't right, can he carry you to a win? So the best tight end in football, or at least the second best, Mark Edwards, Ravens, not a bit. Their best receiver out in a weak receiver.
He's slacking already, Colin. Mark Andrews, come on. I heard Mark Edwards, but maybe I heard wrong, but come on, Colin.
Receiving core. The defense has holes on the back end. You have Monday Night Football in the loudest road venue in the league, and Lamar Jackson barely broke a sweat. Completed passes to 10 different people, huge on third down, and that is what it looks like. That is a franchise quarterback.
So, guys, I 100% agree with Colin here. We all know I think Lamar's a franchise quarterback, but also Lamar has been doing this for a long time, and I think it's just time for us to give him some respect. He carried us literally on offense for at least the last 2 seasons, right? Again, when the running game was like a dominant running game, even though he was a part of it, I won't say that he carried that because the run game was just so good. The running backs were so good. So, but for the last 2 seasons, for sure, he's carried us, and he's given Ravens fans hope every time he starts that we can win that game. So
it's different. It's unique. People can't get their arms around it, but it's incredibly special. And if you're constantly, as a fan, you're constantly blaming because you have a quarterback and you're not sure if he's a franchise quarterback. And I've said this before, but you're constantly blaming the receivers and the coordinator and the offensive line and the lack of a running game. You don't have it. You don't have it. That's what the Giants are doing, and the Jets are doing, and Commanders are doing, and Lions are doing, and Carolina's doing. They're blaming other people. Lamar Jackson goes on the road, one of the toughest Monday Night Football environments, doesn't have a world-class tight end, his best receiver, and a bad receiving core, and a defense that can be very susceptible. And Andy Dalton looked like a flip phone, and he looked like the latest iPhone. I mean, it was just special, fast, unique. They're down. He was amazing. I'm looking down. 14 rushing first downs, 9 for 15 on third down, no turnovers, 38 minutes time of possession, and the Saints knew they were going to run.
And here's another thing we have to take into account too, that we win games even though we're a less talented team. So think of all the games that our offense put us in position to win, right? And all the games that we did win. Again, this game, I don't think we were the less talented team, but I think in the Bengals, when we played the Bengals, we were less talented than them as a whole team. I think when we played the Bills this year, we were less talented as a whole team. We should have won that game. We couldn't finish it. The Dolphins, as a whole team, we should have won that game. Lamar put up those points, couldn't finish it, right? Even the teams like the Jets, guys. I think the Jets, if you go position for position, the Jets can be seen as more talented, especially with the pieces they have on defense and how they're playing. They just, they've been having number 1 draft picks for so long, and New York, they have a lot of talent. So I think you can say that about a lot of positions, right? I broke this down for you guys before. If you look at the Bengals, guys, they have a better receiving core than we have. They have a better running backs than we have, right? When you look at their defense is playing better than ours is. You can look at the numbers say that, right? The only thing we have better than them, honestly, is tight end, offensive line, and Lamar Jackson. And then, again, when games where tight ends are injured, when running backs are injured, last season when everyone was injured, cornerbacks were injured, Lamar Jackson had us with a winning record. This year, he has us with a winning record. Other teams, when they have injuries, they lose games, guys. And we are lucky as Ravens fans that we can say that we've been some of the most injured team in the league, and we don't lose games. That's kind of amazing, and 80% of that is because of Lamar Jackson. So
there's no big secret here. They didn't have their tight end or their best receiver. Everybody in the stadium, including the fans, who were all lubricated, everybody knew Baltimore was going to run.
That's
they
funny.
Still couldn't stop it. And last night was a great example of what has happened to this league. And it changes fast. What has happened to this league? Because of the rule changes, and because now many of the great high school athletes are allowed to be a quarterback. Why not? They get, that's the only position you touch the ball 60 times a game. is that your quarterback has to have some it, some juice, something different, something unique.
But I will say though, again, and this is a thing that I don't think a lot of people, analysts like Colin, take into account is that these other athletic quarterbacks who are talented, they don't win, right? They do not win. Lamar Jackson is one of the most winningest quarterbacks in NFL history, right? You can look at his age. I think the only person with more wins at his age is like Joe Montana, right? So when it comes to winning, guys, Lamar has a giant impact. Justin Fields is great. If Lamar Jackson had that team in Chicago with that defense they had a couple years ago, he would definitely be in the playoffs. I can tell you that, right? Again, if Lamar Jackson was in Arizona, they would be a number 1 seed. Okay, if he could throw it to Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, they had a system and offense where the ball is spread out. You know, it'd be a number 1 seed. This is, again, I like Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. Jalen Hurts was not doing what he's doing now, and I know he's still young, but his second season, he was not doing what Lamar Jackson did in his second season, and Jalen Hurts has a much better team than Lamar Jackson has ever had. Okay, again, there's a better offensive line than Lamar Jackson's ever had. Better wide receiver options than Lamar Jackson's ever had. The defense is one of the best defenses in the league, right? And so, again, I'm just saying that when it comes to talent, Lamar is special, and we got to kind of acknowledge that.
Andy Dalton looked like a 2011 quarterback. And by the way, 10, 11 years ago, Andy Dalton was fine as a franchise quarterback. And
Ravens fans, we had some battles with Andy, right? So I respect him. He's a warrior. He was taking some blows, but he's a warrior, so I respect him.
Look at it now. It looks like 1970. Look at Matt Ryan now. Look at Jared Goff now. That classic pocket passer, it will not do. It is not good enough. You have got to have juice. It's really special. If you watch that game.
And I kind of agree with him. I do think you can get it done without that juice. Again, right? Matt Stafford is a special athlete. Matt Stafford can throw the ball, though, right? In his aggressiveness, when his team is playing good around him, his aggressiveness is beneficial, right? You can't make a run like that unless you are unless you have talent, and he has arm talent, right? Tom Brady could still win games, and I think they would be winning games if their offensive line wasn't so hurt, right? So you can get it done. You just have to be elite in decision making. Like, I don't think Tua has arm talent, and I don't think Tua really has speed like that. But what Tua does have is he gets the ball out to the open man quickly. He misses throws, but when you have Tyreek running this way, he can hit Tyreek on crossers, not deep. He'd be underthrowing them balls, but so I agree, but not really, because I think you can get it done both ways.
Game with the sound down, and you just see Lamar's running all over the field and making people miss and picking up third downs, and he's doing that without arguably the best tight end in football and his best receiver and already a bad receiving core on the road. It's hard to take your eyes off him. And people have struggled what to do with Lamar Jackson. I always say the same thing. He went to about 75% of his starts. Well, he can't win a Super Bowl. Well, Dan Marino never won one. Ask Dolphin fans. Those good days in Miami. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre have two between them. Been pretty good days. What you don't want to do is drive to the ballpark, drive to the stadium, having a huge deficit 15 weeks a year at quarterback. With Lamar and that sauce and that juice and that you've got a shot to win every game, even when you're missing your top pieces.
And this has been proven, and this is what I'm saying, guys. This is why we got to pay him, because you can't say the same thing about Kyler Murray, guys. And to be honest, you can't say the same thing about Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson was healthy for an entire season And he won 4 games, and I remember that. And J.J. Watt went in the interview and said, we let him down. And I hear you. Honestly, I hear you. Lamar Jackson, you don't have Lamar Jackson on your team and only win 4 games. And he's proven that. When he was a rookie and he couldn't throw the ball, right? This is, again, he's Lamar Jackson, he misses a throw every now and then. When he was a rookie, we saw it. He was missing every throw. So he's improved so much. He was still winning football games, right? So that's all I'm saying. So, pay him what he's worth. So.
All right, so I think...
So I think he's about to go on to a different topic. He's about to go on to something else. So we are going to cut that because we only care about the Ravens here and Lamar Jackson. So guys, let me know if you agree. There's something to be said about going to a game and thinking you have a chance to win. And Lamar Jackson does that for us. Now, the way that you guys, we have to look at it, to be honest, guys, when you look at the history of the NFL, the quarterback win Super Bowl ratio has been knocked off because of Tom Brady, right? Peyton Manning was in the league over 10 years. He has 2 rings, and one of those rings, he had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? He was carried. He was literally benched in the middle of the season, right? The defense carried him. Well, again, Aaron Rodgers, been in the league over 10 years, 1 ring, right? So the ratio is like for every 8, if you're a great quarterback, right, every 9 years, you get a championship ring. If you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. And because of people like Tom Brady, we think, oh, well, if you're a Hall of Fame quarterback, you have to have multiple rings, right? It's kind of the same thing that Jordan did to the NBA, where they're kind of like, oh, well, if you're a superstar, you take every shot. But the truth is that Magic was a superstar. He didn't take every shot. Kareem was a superstar. He didn't take every game-winning shot. Dwayne Wade was a superstar. He didn't take every game-winning shot. But Kobe did. So it's kind of that thing. So, but this again, let me know, guys, if you agree. I say pay the man. I think if we have him for another 5 years, our football lives would be awesome. I really do believe that. So thank you guys so much. Let me know if you agree in the comments below. Go Ravens.